Christopher Wallace, Biggie Smalls. You won't believe what they found in Biggie's garage after he died. We're talking sealed crates, unreleased tracks, handwritten notes, even a car that might have held the blueprint to a side of Biggie the world never saw. For years, it was all rumor. Whispers about some locked-up garage in Brooklyn filled with lost verses and secret plans. But what if the stories weren't just hype? What if Biggie left behind more than just music? What if he left a mission? Let's rewind. It's July 1998, over a year after Biggie's murder. His mom, Valletta Wallace, and a lawyer named Alfred Pagan quietly show up at a nondescript garage on St. James Place. No press, no fans, just locksmiths, security, and a rep from his old label. No one really knew what was inside. Biggie had hinted in interviews about stash spots, so you can imagine the buzz. Souvenir hunters were kept away, not because of gold chains or plaques, but because this garage might have held something way bigger, a time capsule. When the padlock finally popped, Valletta stepped in first. She clutched her son's rosary, took a moment, and then waved the others in. That's when things got wild. Tucked among dusty crates in a tarp-covered car were notebooks, studio reels, even tax folders. This wasn't a storage unit, it was a vault. There were 31 crates in total, 20 of them labeled sessions. 4 said taxes, 3 had video ideas, and 4 completely blank. Those 4 are what keep fans talking. Inside, pristine 2-inch studio reels, master tapes, dated just weeks before Biggie's final trip to LA. Titles scrawled on the tape leaders included stuff like My Downfall, Altvox, and Player Hater Choir Take. But the one that reportedly made jaws drop? A track labeled Brooklyn Undefeated. Engineers say it had a soulful horn loop and raw vocals that showed Biggie experimenting with flows no one ever heard in his commercial stuff. Guide vocals, studio banter, him joking with Stevie J about snare levels. It felt like sitting in the room with him. Not just a song, but a memory. And that was just the music. In the back, under canvas, sat a deep blue Lexus GS 300. The same model he rapped about in Hypnotize. Not a rental. This was titled in his name. When a mechanic peeled back the seat, they found a USPS box. Inside, 3 spiral notebooks, a stack of receipts, and some forms that blew the whole story wide open. One of the notebooks outlined a plan for $5,000 scholarships for Brooklyn high school students interested in audio engineering. GPA requirement, demo tape, essay on giving back to the community. This wasn't a flex, it was strategy. There were even drafts of a foundation. What would become the Christopher Wallace Memorial Foundation? And get this, there was a freestyle on a tape found in the glove box, where Biggie raps over Juicy Fruit about funding schools and buying studio boards. Ain't about tax write-offs. This is love, he says. That line alone changed everything. These weren't lost tracks for a greatest hits album. This was the heart of a man planning a future for kids who grew up just like him. But the world almost never knew. The estate didn't rush to monetize the tapes. Valletta was firm. No releases unless they honored Biggie's spirit. They digitized the reels, stored everything in a climate-controlled vault, quietly, without fanfare. Some of it made its way to trusted studios. Brooklyn Undefeated got a short 30-second instrumental teaser release, just to cool the rumors. Fans flipped over it, remixing it online within hours. Then came the leak. In summer '99, an unreleased Biggie track, one no one had even mentioned, surfaced online. It was mislabeled, raw, possibly unfinished, but definitely him. The leak wasn't some major hack. Turns out, a junior engineer copied it to show a friend. Boom, out into the world. The estate didn't sue. Instead, they kicked the guy off the project and doubled down on security. But here's what's crazy. This leak actually united people. Both Biggie's and Tupac's camps issued statements shutting down rumors of a secret collab. For once, the East Coast-West Coast rivalry stepped aside. Respect over clout. After that, the estate got surgical. Tapes were watermarked. Files were encrypted. They even looked into storing them with top-tier archival services. Every reel was cataloged. Every notebook scanned. And then, they started thinking bigger. By 2005, streaming made it possible to share tiny bits without risking full leaks. So they built an interactive timeline called Flow. You could drag a slider from 1993 to 1997 and hear evolving beats. No full songs, just stems, loops, studio chatter. Imagine high schoolers getting hands-on with Biggie's studio tools. Not just learning music, learning history. The car? It was brought out only once to the Brooklyn Museum for a scholarship event. The notebooks? Published in a collection called the Wallace Papers. It included letters from scholarship winners, essays from music scholars, even doodles from Biggie's planning notes. One reader asked Valletta what surprised her most. Her answer? That everything was dated. Chris knew historians would need receipts. Eventually, they created Flow 2.0, a full VR experience of the garage. Users could click on reels, hear short clips, and read the stories behind them. That virtual garage toured libraries from Atlanta to Accra, giving young people from all over a glimpse into a mind that never stopped planning, even when the world only saw the bravado. The legacy? It's not in what Biggie didn't release. It's in what he left behind, for the right moment, for the right reason. This wasn't about chasing trends, it was about planting seeds. Studio interns who grew up on Ready to Die now archive his tapes. Kids from Bed-Stuy are getting studio time because of his handwritten plans. That's not nostalgia, that's movement. So, what would you have done if you found that garage? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're feeling the vibe, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into stories that deserve more than a headline. This wasn't just about a rapper. It was about a legacy that still speaks volumes, even when the mic's been set down. Rest in peace, Christopher Wallace. Peace.